Hey residents of Meepletown, it is the early Middle Ages and we are in a valley with 5 monasteries, and John and I are each taking on the role of deans of a cathedral school, sending our novices to these monasteries.
Deans of a cathedral school?
Dean of the cathedral school, sending our novices to the monasteries and trying to look good, trying to make our schools look good.
Okay.
Do you get that theme? Let's get to the table and check it out.
Wait, I forgot the box.
In Monasterium.
All right, Dean, have you seen, you have, right, Community?
No.
You've never seen the show Community?
No, I'm told all the time that I like the show, but I've never seen it.
You know that they have a dean named Dean, right?
I was told that was the case.
And
From one of my
you
students.
work at a college right now.
One of my students would always walk into a room and say,
Dean.
Dean-a-ling, and he said that was from the show.
Money.
Is that right?
I think I'm going to say that from now on.
You
just hurt yourself right there.
I was happy when that stopped. I'm glad I brought it back up. This is a dice placement game, John.
Okay.
Dice drafting game, not dice placement, although kind of dice placement. So what we are doing is we are sending out our novices to these different monasteries, and we're going to be trying to do a lot of different things. We're going to be getting points from the novices that we send out. We're going to be getting points from matching up these different objective cards. We'll talk about those a little bit later. But we're going to be moving our messenger along the board and sending out our novices to the different schools that it is next to.
A big part of this game is going to be completing these cards over here. And these can kind of help point you in a direction. I'll just kind of show you. Might as well go ahead and show you one. So right here, we're going to score 12, 9, or 6 points based on when we complete the task. This is looking for sending one of our folks out to the outer ring. This is looking for putting one in the chapel? That's what I thought. I just want to make sure I got it right. In this particular section. And in this one, we're going to put it in the outer ring as well. And you can tell these are the same in the different spots. So it's pretty simple when it comes to, pretty straightforward. When it comes
That's
to
right. And the only other location where you're going to put your novices is going to be in that little green area. And that's the cloister that you're going to be sending those out
Which
to.
we only have this one right here, which is going to look for cloisters, which is got that.
So where those green windows
where that
are,
green symbol is,
right off the bat, we're really going to want to load up.
Maybe, because there's 3 right there. Boom, boom, boom. Get it done.
That's right. Okay, so on your turn, I'm going to be the starting player. This game plays out over 3 years. John and I, for each year, will take on the role of the starting player.
You have the chalice.
And that signals the end of the round. On your turn, you're going to roll your dice, and since I'm the first player, I'm going to choose a number and put it into these windows. And I'm looking at the board.
I forgot to give us our starting resources.
Oh, come on. Are you serious?
I'm sorry. I was having camera problems this morning.
A rosary. Oh, is this right?
I think
that's
so.
right.
Yeah,
One influence,
just verify that.
a rosary, and 2 soup. I think that's correct.
Here's
2
your
influence.
soup.
Oh,
Here's
sorry,
your
2
soup.
influence. That's right, 2 influence. Okay. Did you get 2 soup, 2 influence? No, I just got mine like thrown over here.
Here's your soup.
All right, so on this game, in this game, again, I'm choosing these dice. You won't have to worry about any of the actions or anything until we get to that phase, and I'll show you what's going on. But basically, we have these neutral dice that we're rolling, but we also have a die of our own color. And when we put this here, we're going to be taking that action, and no one else can take the action of our die, but we will be able to take the action of the other players. So what am I going to do, John? I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my 2 1s right here, which will allow us to be able to put novices out there. Oh, I didn't even look at your... That's all right.
So you do have to put all of one number if you're going to put it out there.
That's right. I'm going to go ahead and put my 6 here. 6 is a wild, and so I'll put that right there.
It's crazy, man. Those number 6s. They're pretty wild. All right,
wild and crazy 6s.
Here's the thing. Dean is going to get to go first. So if he can get a 1 on his... So the 1 is going to allow us to put these folks out here. And oftentimes that's kind of the move to get something going, especially since, as Dean remarked earlier, man, we've got this place right here. This card can be fulfilled lickety-split, potentially.
That's right.
It wasn't a great snap. That was a little better. Lickety-split.
Is this camera on?
So What do you mean? Yeah, it says record.
Okay.
It's just my red shirt.
It's my
right where the red.
Oh, okay.
Right where the red thing is.
Gotcha. So
Here's the thing: he can take up to 3 of these. So if he puts, well, he doesn't have his red there.
I don't need my red there.
He could take, but he's going to take those, and then I'll have nothing. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that, which is going to actually probably help him a little. It's going to give him another die, but it's going to give me 2, and I want 2. I think.
It's exactly. You're falling right into my trap, John.
Yeah. Well.
All right. This is kind of interesting. John mentioned you can take 3 dice, up to 3 dice in these different spots. 6 is the only exception. So if I put this 6 here, it won't make a difference. Like I won't be able to take multiple 6s. But I do think I'm just going to put that there, leaving these last 2. Do I want that?
I'm not in love with what I rolled.
No, I'm going to do this instead. I'm going to put those 2 3s there.
That's intriguing.
Mainly because I'm looking up here and I'm thinking I would like to get somebody in that chapel up there, and I need influence tokens to do that. Which I have them, I guess.
You do have them, yep. So here's what's interesting. I can use this once per round to re-roll my dice, which I kind of want to. I'm just going to put a 2 out there. Let's go. Okay.
Another 1. Now we have a re-roll. I'm going to go ahead and use my re-roll. You get
roll one again.
You get 1 per
I want him
round.
to roll a 1 again so I can get 3 moves. Go ahead. Yes!
I didn't really waste my re-roll.
Go ahead, sir.
There we go.
That.
I like that.
I know you do. I know you were waiting for that.
I like to travel.
This is going to be interesting. Do I want to pump this, which would give him the opportunity to get 3 prestige? No, because if I take mine here, then he'll take his anyways.
And by prestige, John means influence.
Sorry. We were talking about Red Cathedral earlier. All right, I'm going to re-roll mine as well because I don't want a 3. Okay, that's actually good. That'll give him a little bit more of a decision.
So I don't need to take these right off the bat because I'll be able to get my 3 anyway. I'm not worried about going over there. I'm thinking I can take this die, which allows you to move. This one just gives you a rosary. Well, okay, I say that. It changes throughout the game. At the beginning of the game, can you hand me one of those player boards, John?
Yeah, you can show
me. Let me just go explain how these actions work. So initially, we both have these spots covered up with our. There we go. We have our spots covered up with our novices in there. As they're uncovered, you're going to be uncovering different actions that you'll be able to take. So, for example, once I take this, which you can't see which one it is, this is the 5 spot, the movement one. If I take a die here, initially I can only move that messenger 1 space. But let's say this spot's removed. Well, then if I take like multiple dice, or even if I just take 1, I'll then be able to take this action along with it. The 2nd and 3rd spots are only 1-time use in all the different columns. And then this last one allows you to be able to get a victory point anytime you take you use a die in that different column.
That's right. That's exactly right, Dean.
So I know for sure that I want to be able to do this at some point, but I think right now, this is a bit of a challenge. Do I want to?
It's interesting that we also didn't leave ourselves with any rosaries, and we desperately need rosaries in there, but...
That's right, but we each have 1, and that allows you to get 1 out there. I'm going to take these 2s, which right now are only going to allow me to get soup tokens, but that will help me be able to put out a better novice onto the board. All right, and that is my turn.
Right, I'm going to take these prestige.
Yep.
So go ahead, Deanie.
And I might as well go ahead and move right. Again, since I'll be able to take that action anyway. So I will move along 1 space. Now this road that the messenger is going to go along has lots of different attachments, different like driveways up to the different monasteries. And so, but I do want to stay in this area so I can still connect to that one. But when I move here, or if I move past it, you get to take an action if it's listed on there. So in this case, I can take any of these actions. Right now, I only have the standard ones open. I don't want to take this one because I know I'm going to be able to take that one. John mentioned getting a rosary, which is a pretty good thing as well. But I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this one, which allows me to... Oh, I don't really need the influence yet either. I think I'm just going to move 1.
Wow.
Yeah.
Much ado about nothing.
Yeah, I got nothing out of that. However, I'm moving farther along the road, which I'll show you why that matters in a little while. Yeah.
Now, I'm going to take these. Dean made me pretty nervous because I risked it, if he wanted to, he could have taken these 3 and used all 4 of his soups and taken both soup spots there. And then it would have hosed me from being able to go to those spots.
Yeah.
However, that would have been a lot just to hose me. Because the thing is we need to be in the inner ring. We don't need to be in the outer ring for this particular one right here.
Yeah.
Actually, we do need for this one. We do need one in there. But you have to have it in the outer ring before you can go inner.
That's right.
First outer, inner, last.
That's right.
Foil method. Isn't that not? Don't they not do that anymore?
Multiplication? Yes, they multiply.
But don't they use a different method?
I don't know.
Okay, so I'm going to get 3 moves here. The first move I'm going to do is take 2 of these and 1 to put my first person out. Now, I think I'm going to be using the 1 quite a bit. So I can take any from this first row. If I would have used 3, as Dean's going to try to do, he's going to go ahead and unlock some from his second row, which are more powerful. I'm going to take this and I'm going to put it in the soup kitchen, which is really the secular building.
Secular building. There you go. Look at John. You're using the correct terminology.
But I think a soup kitchen is a lot nicer to think about.
Is it?
I don't know.
Okay.
Okay. So now that's my first die. My second one, I can now, because I did that and unlocked that, use it to move, baby, move, baby, move. But I'm not. I'm actually going to stay here for a moment, and I'm going to use,
There's
one
one.
influence.
Just one right now, yeah.
Yeah, so these get increasingly more. So when I used this the first time, the first time I sent someone to one of the chapels, it only cost me 1, second twice, 3, plus 3 of them. So now I'm just trying to figure out which one I want to take. They all actually do the same in this row. It's just, do I think that I'm going to keep going using ones quite a bit off the bat? Should I diversify to where maybe there's a 2 left and I don't super want it? I could use it to do something else. I think that why are these? I didn't even put these in the right way.
What?
I don't have them in the right order.
Oh, the numbers aren't in the right. Just take whatever actions you want.
I mean, it doesn't matter at this moment.
Yeah, you can.
Oh, it's stuck.
If you want, you can shuffle those up.
Yeah, but we're not doing that.
No,
we're putting it in the right order.
I just made that up. I don't know if you can or not. I've never done that before. We've only ever played it in order, but
okay.
I guess you could.
I think I'm going to just take it off of this, thinking that I might need some rosaries later. I'm going to put that here. This guy's going to the first seat in the church right there. He is very holy.
Front row seater.
This is supposed to be a 1. Are you a front row seater or a back row? Dean's a back row seater. All right, so that's my second move. And whenever I put my person here in the secular building, I failed to mention, because I forget this all the time, that because I've done that, I get 1 tool and 1 point. So in your face, I'm whipping you now. When you go to the chapel, you don't get that. But there's a bonus to go into chapel, and that is, number 1 is, if you can unlock, like this row I just unlocked, this says that I can take a window, which you'll see here in a little bit, from a place, but only where I have a person.
That's right.
Also, now I can skedaddle past this road, and I can actually put people over here because I have a person in my chapel.
That's right.
So even if I'm all the way over here, I can still go back here because I have a person in my chapel.
That was a big time move there, John.
That's right. And then my last move is just going to be to go like this. And now that I've done that,
it is optional to move it.
I get to choose something else, which, ooh, little stomach growling. I think I'm going to take a rosary. How about that?
It's a pretty lame move there. That's it.
Yeah, my stomach's growling. Did you hear that?
I can hear it. I don't think it's picking up on the camera. All right. That really was a big time.
So Dean only has 1 move to make, and this is ideal for him.
Yep.
So what I didn't want him to be able to do.
Because I'll be able to take this last action as well. Now, John is correct. I could have taken those different secular spots out there, which would have been nice. I just didn't want to do that. I really would rather be able to take a stronger action, I think. But now I'm kind of second guessing myself because I would also
have been able to unlock 2 of your guys too.
I would have. Yeah, I don't care as much about that right now, but I'm just thinking I like having this one unlocked where I can move. However, if I take the 4 action, I can actually move twice. So that's probably what I'm going to do. I'm going to use my first one to do just like John did. So I'm going to spend 1 of my influence.
It was a good move. It was a good move.
I'll spend 3 of my soup tokens, and I will unlock this one, I believe.
Yeah, that's good.
And this is going to go right into this spot. If you'll give me 1 point up there, please. And then I'm also going to get a book.
And also, just so you know, like
not a book, I'm sorry, a tool.
These are only one-person spots. This has 4 segments, and this is only 1 as well. So that's what I was saying earlier, is he could have, blocked me, whatever.
Yep. All right, for my second action, I don't have enough of... Well, that's okay. I don't have enough of what I need to be able to put another one out there. Now, what I could have done is I could have unlocked this spot, and then... that's fine. Yep. It doesn't matter. All right. Yeah. My second action. Am I saying things right now? What am I doing?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Actually,
sounds good.
Yep.
Yep. All right. I'm going to, let's say, I'm going to spend my rosary token, I believe, and I'm just going to put one of each thing out there. I think I'm going to put this novice out there. So I spent a rosary to put this person in a cloister,
and it has to be adjacent to one of his outer buildings.
That's right. I couldn't have put it over on John's side. Those are his spots to be able to put those on.
That's right.
All right, and then my last one, I am going to spend an influence token, and I will put out somebody in the chapel. I don't remember who I was going to put. I think I'll put this one right here, and also in the front. How about that?
Okay.
And we didn't mention this. At the end of the game, I'll explain this. We're not going to play a full game, but I'll explain how this works. There's area control that happens within the monasteries as well.
That's right.
Because, what's a monastery without some good
Whoever has
competition?
the most monks
That's right.
in the monastery is the best.
That means you have the best school.
Yep.
So that is all 3 of my actions. Putting out 3 novices. So in your face, that's a pretty
And he
good,
gets to go again.
That's a pretty good turn. Now,
I can't go. I can't take his red.
What I did not do is, I mentioned this, but when I put this... when I put this novice out into the cloister, okay? So when I put that novice into the cloister as my second action, that third one that I took actually is it activates right away. So I'll get a victory point for doing that one as well. And
so every time he takes the die now with 1 on it and uses it, well, you have to be able to use it to take it.
So
he gets a point.
That's right. Last thing I'm going to do is take this action, and I think I'll just use this to activate this again. So I'm going to get a victory point again for activating this column. Now, I won't be activated with a standard action. I'm going to activate it with one of these, and I'm going to just take this window, and that's the action I can use right here. You can only do that 1 time. So I'm taking a green window, and this is going to go onto my board. It has to go on one of these on the far left spot, and when you do that, you're going to get to activate one of those
It
spots.
does have 1, 2, and 3 on this. I don't know if you can see it very well or not, but it shows you which columns.
Yep, that's right. All right, so I will take this one, and I'm going to take this action. I could take this soup tile if I wanted to, which actually wouldn't be a terrible move since I have 1. But instead, I'm going to move 2 places, 1, 2, and then when I do that, I'm able to take this action, which is going to let me take an influence token or a rosary. I'll take an influence token. And that completes the first part of the round.
All right, let's do one more round real quick.
That's right. Chalice is going to go over here. We each have 5 dice, so there's 5 neutral in a 2-player. That changes in a higher player count.
All right, so, wow, a lot of 6s, a couple 3s. Don't really love my 3 being locked in on that right now. These get flipped over. I really don't love that first roll, but I think I'll just put the 2 there and see what happens.
John's going first. I think I'm going to put this 4. I get a little extra bonus of movement with 4. Movement's really good because obviously you get these things as you go, but if you can get to the end of the road, you can actually unlock another one of your colored die, which is really helpful.
Can be. I'm going to go ahead and lock my 1 in right there because I need to do a little more placement.
I think I probably could as well. I don't mind taking those rosary. Nah, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do the same thing you did.
Of course you did. You always do what I do. So, interesting. I get to go first, and no, never mind, because I can do that, because this goes all the way out there. Okay. I'm going to put these 5ers there so I can maybe move a little bit further down the road.
There we go. Yep. I like that. I'm going to put this 6 here, I believe.
Okay.
There we go.
This is interesting because if I want to move, if I don't take those, Dean's going to take them and keep moving. I don't want to let him have that, so I probably need to take that. I normally wouldn't be saying this, of course,
Right?
but I don't want. I'm probably going to for sure take that. If I put the 1 down here, it's going to give Dean, then he'll probably come right back and grab this right here, very potentially. Though I wouldn't mind having a rosary, so I could like go, okay, yeah, you can go here, Dean,
right?
So that I can now take that, because if I take that, then I can take that, and I can, you know what, I'll do that. Problem is, if he puts a 1 there, then it is even more powerful.
I will put a, let's see. Yeah, I could do that. I could just straight up put a 1 there.
I'm first,
I'm
anyways.
gonna put that there. So I haven't taken mine yet. So
you hadn't taken yours? Oh, my bad. Well, there you go.
All right.
I was wondering why you had so many more dice than me. Why did it take you so long to roll?
I'm gonna. I don't know if I care either way. I think I will just put this 3 here. It doesn't make it appealing to anybody, but I'll save it so I'll have this last one. And I don't. 1, 2. It's possible I could unlock a die this time. Not likely, but if I can, then I would be able to unlock my die. And I roll it immediately and place it out there. Place it out there. But if I have my reroll tile, I can reroll it. So I'm going to hold on to it just in case.
So I'm going to do something different than I said, actually, based on the way the dice ended. I'm actually going to take this first. And I'm going to let him have that, because this actually ended up pretty nice in some of these other spots.
Yeah.
I know he really wants to move, but I'm okay with that. The first move I'm going to make is to give up my rosary so that I can send this guy out there. Now that I've done that, I'm going to be able to flip this over, and my second one will score me a point. So this is kind of annoying. I'm not going to lie. All right. The whole thing is broken. Oh! All right. That's my first move. And then I'll score a point for my second die. The second thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take these 2, because now it's going to cost me 2 of these influence in order to send someone out. But I'm going to send out... maybe I'm just going to keep doing this for now. I'm going to send the 1 down here. The reason I'm going to send him down here is because this will... So right now, if I could get 1 more outer here, I'm going to score 6 points when I do that. Also, it gives me the ability to, as I continue to press on, I could put a person in the outward cloister or whatever, because I have someone in that. So,
that's right.
Anyway.
Now, this is a difficult decision for me, because I would like to move, but I'm in the same position. I would also like to put a novice in the chapel over here. My problem is I can't just take this die and do it, because I only have 1 influence token. Your first novice that you put in the chapel costs 1. The second one costs 2 influence tokens, and then everyone after that costs 3. Same thing that works for the cloisters. So your rosaries, it's 1, 2, and 3. So I really need another influence token, and I don't want to move. I also don't want to move out of the spot if I want to put this in the chapel. I kind of think I might have to anyway, which is a little unfortunate. It's just, I guess it kind of is what it is at this point, but I'm going to take, this, and I will go ahead and move twice. So 1, 2, and then when I passed over this, I can take a soup token, or I can move a soup token up to a tool, or a tool up to a book. I'm going to trade a soup token in for a tool. So now I have...
You are a tool.
Two tools. There, that really hurts my feelings. Appreciate that. Yep.
All right. I was really hoping he would do that, because I want to take these rosaries. So I'm going to actually take... see, this is where I have a decision. This will allow me to be able to put out my complete this. I could take this rosary, but I also have squeaky. Squeaky.
I have a squeaky table.
The challenge. Actually, I'm not going to take it. I'm actually going to use it for this ability, which then allows me to take one of these from a place that I have one of these folks. I'm just going to take it from this red one down here. Did you take the green one already? You know what? Let's take the green one then.
I'll take the green
so
one.
that there's not. Anyways, so now I have the decision. I could go right here and just grab my rosary that I was going to get, which wouldn't be bad. I could also use it to move along. Yeah, I like that move. So let's just move along too.
Was that
And
necessary?
then, and then I can choose: do I want a rosary or an influence? And what do I want, Dean? Do I want a rosary or an influence? I think I'm going to take an influence.
Okay. All right. It is now over to me. One thing I didn't mention.
Tantalizing.
I keep talking about the messenger. I don't think I mentioned this at the beginning of the game. But with the messenger, it has to be connected here to be able to do the actions, be able to put stuff out there, novices and stuff. Unless you have a novice in the chapel. There we go. Okay. I just want to make sure that we covered that and that was clear. This really stinks.
Because if I hadn't had the novice in the chapel, then now that I moved forward here, I couldn't go back and put the rosary.
That's right.
Because I've got one there, I can do it.
Yeah. John is in a much better position than I'm in right now. What I should have done last time is take the rosary instead of John, allowing him to be able to just put that out there.
Dean loves to go as fast as he can so he can get those dice, which is good. The extra die.
Yeah, well, the reason why I moved up this time is so I can get the books.
We call him Speedy
the
Dean
tools.
around here, around these parts.
I don't think anybody calls me that. But I also need somebody in the chapel, more people in the chapel. So I'm going to take this and just take an influence token, and that's it. That's all I'm doing on my turn.
I'm going to take these two, and I'm going to grab a couple soups. So...
All right, my next action...
It's really fun going first, especially in a two-player game.
Yeah. All right, I'm going to take this, and I'm going to make this a 1, I believe. What do I need over here? I need somebody in the chapel up here, but I'm one space away from being able to do that. And that's it, right? I guess, I mean, you can put people in the chapel anywhere, but as far as those cards go, I don't really need anyone in those other chapels. But it is what it is, so I'm just going to... Ooh, this is tough.
Camera can shut off in a few minutes.
All right, never mind. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to take this as a movement action, okay? And then I'm going to take this this spot right here. Now, what that does is it allows you to take a window from any building, not just where you have a novice in the chapel, which is helpful because I mentioned putting the windows here, but you can't put colors next to each other. So if I wanted to take this action, for example, that lets me take a window, the only place I have a novice in the chapel is that one, and I can't take another green one. So I'm going to take one.
You can't put the same window in the same row or column.
Yeah, in the same row or column. Yeah, that's right.
You said next to each other. Yeah.
I did. You are correct.
Just wanted to make sure
you know what? I can go ahead and unlock my die if I wanted to. And I think I will.
Okay.
Because why not? That's
Game
Speedy Dean likes to move.
There he goes.
2.
Off to the races.
I will take this. On this one, you can either take your die or you can take 5 points.
This is the tortoise and the hare, is what this is.
Hey, another movement. Do I want that?
Oh my gosh.
I don't know if I want that. I can re-roll, but unfortunately, then it's just a crapshoot at that point.
Yeah, and you kind of like 5. You don't hate it.
Yeah.
Or maybe you hate it.
Well, I just don't need it right now.
Okay. You be blowing it for you?
I'll take that. Yeah, that's good. That at least gives me an influence token. All right, go ahead.
All right, so I'm going to take this as a 1. Did you move forward when you... Oh, you didn't take it as a 1.
Yeah, I changed my mind.
So that I can use these 2, because now it costs me 2 rosaries to drop...
it like it's hot.
Yeah. It doesn't... which one am I going to take the most, Dean? Probably some of those travel tokens. I'm going to place that there, pop this bad boy out, flip it around, and then I will simply complete this task. So in the first year, I have 1 in the outward, 2 in the inner cloisters, so I score 10 big ones. Are you playing this game, Dean?
I'm not.
You know, I feel...
Bad for me?
I feel like Dean has whipped me in previous games. I feel like he probably will still win this somehow, but I feel like I actually have a leg up in this game for the first time.
100% you do. And I really hosed myself by not putting another person.
But you have 2 of these.
But it's still not enough yet, though.
And I'm like way back here.
Yeah, I think what I'm going to do is really focus on getting a couple done in year 2. Bad shape. So now I'm kind of looking over here to see what's going on. Do I want to put somebody in this chapel up here? Do I want to get people in the secular building up here? Now I can get a leg up on John if I stay in the spot. But first things first, I'm just going to take this. That's going to give me an influence token. Again, I want to have some influence in the chapel, so that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to take this right here, and I'm going to get a victory point for that.
Oh, sorry. Then, I didn't know. I didn't realize you were telling me to give you the victory
falling
point.
behind, my friend.
Oh my gosh!
All right, and then I'm going to put somebody in the chapel, I think. I don't have to though. I will. So it's going to cost me 2 of these influence tokens, and then I will put. I need somebody in the yellow, and that's it. I don't need anyone in the blue. Now I say that, like just looking at those cards, but you get victory points just for the people that you have in the chapel. So if you have every chapel covered, you're going to get, what is that? 15 points if you have somebody in every chapel, monastery chapel. All right, and that's going to be the end of the year. What we're just going to do is reset and move that. That's the only thing that changes. This thing flips back over, re-roll the dice. The chalice comes back over to me. Bada bing, bada boom. That's it.
Chalice D-belt.
Now, let me explain in-game scoring. We get points for those. These bottom 2, by the way, are going to be ones that you're going to get. They don't work like you get more points throughout the year. You just get those in that 3rd year. That makes sense?
So if Dean has all 3 dice, which he already has 2 of them, so he's 2/3 of the way there.
That's right.
Already. Or have 12 folks out on the board.
That's right, which we're pretty even on that, I think.
Can we hold this up?
Yeah, go ahead and hold that up. So the top row, that's going to show that you're going to get 5 victory points for having the majority of novices in a monastery. So you'll score all 5 of those monasteries. The next one is going to give you points for your novices in the chapel compared to the novices that you have in the cloister. And you're going to multiply those. There's a little math going on in this game, and then you'll double that score. So go ahead and show that
1
example.
times 2. So I've got 1 in my chapel, 2 in the cloister. So that'd be 2 times 2 is 4 points.
That's right.
Dean would have 1 times 1 right now, times 2.
That's right.
So it'd be 4 to 2 in that one spot.
That's right, and you'll score all the monasteries that way.
Yeah.
The middle one is going to show the one I just said. So if you have a novice in the chapel, just one chapel, you're going to get 1 point, all the way up to having a novice in every chapel, then you're going to get 15 points. You're also going to get points for your tools in your books, 1 point for tool, 2 point for books, and then you'll get points for everything else divided by 2, and that's going to be
worth half a point apiece.
So there's a lot of points that you can get in this game, and we are still early in the game. Even though John is whipping me, there's lots of opportunities to come back for sure.
Yep.
All right. Art components?
Okay, Dean. I think that the art is really nice. How about you?
Yeah, I do. I really like the box cover in this one. I think it's really, really pretty. Kind of puts you in that thematic mode. I feel like the art on the board is really well done. You have all these roads that connect to the monasteries, and I think it's clear, right? I mean, like, you know exactly which spot connects to the different monasteries. The iconography might be kind of confusing the first time you play, but I think it becomes it makes a lot more sense the more games that you play, especially when it has to do with like your novices in the chapels. But again, I think all that's really well done considering how many different things are going on in this game.
Yeah, I mean, the art, excuse me, frog in my throat, the artwork drew us in, right? I mean, we saw a game called Monasterium, which for some reason we're drawn to these monk games. Maybe we secretly wish that we were monks. A little bit. I know. I know. But anyways, that on top of, I mean, the box art that they had and in the theme, we were both like, yeah, that sounds really cool. So yeah, the art on the board, and I like the art on the box. I think it's all really solid. You have like this, timer that's kind of standy. You got this little chalice, which is, pretty cool. Yeah. Right? Everything else, yeah, that's neat. Everything else is, pieces of cardboard, but they're not thin. I wouldn't say they're ultra thick, but they're average, right? You would say they're average size. All that looks good. Like, I actually like the art on these little tokens quite a bit. Like, sometimes they're just like kind of really standard like icons, but it looks like there's a little more detail on these than some of the other ones. There's something cool. I agree with Dean, though. I will say that the iconography based on outs in the chapel, inner, outer, some of the, I don't know why, and really after playing it halfway through, I'm kind of like, I don't know why but I was confused a little bit. Like, I was like, what is that again? Like, I don't know what it was. Maybe it's not confusing, but I had to keep looking back.
There's a lot of
like,
different.
You know what I mean?
icons.
Like there's so many different options here. I guess it wasn't that I was confused, but it was like, okay, with this one I've got to remember it's at that one, and then I got to go here, then I go there. Okay, there's that icon. It's over here. It's over there. And so this was like a little bit like. Besides that, it was all good.
Yeah. Yeah.
So very little to complain about.
A couple things.
These popper things, I'm not. I like how they change, but you kind of have to. Sometimes they're difficult to get out.
They can, unless you're strong like me, and it's not a big deal. I didn't mention a couple things. Sorry, this is more gameplay than anything. You're probably wondering, hey, he's at the end of the road. How's he going to get another die? You actually reset that. And also, I didn't mention you get points for completing the different columns and rows. So I get 5 points if I get these like tic-tac-toe style, right? Bingo style? Tic-tac-toe? Either one.
Bingo.
All right.
Gameplay. Well, what about the gameplay? If you want to know what's on the back, look at that bad boy. That's a whole nother deal right there.
All right. I don't know what you're going, where you're going with that. But, all right. Yeah, gameplay. So gameplay is enjoyable. I like dice drafting games in general.
Yeah.
And so I like how this plays out. I think it's unique in that you actually get to pick which dice are going out there. So it's not just like randomly let's roll dice and see what happens.
Yeah.
You get to pick and you're constantly re-rolling. And so those decisions become pretty interesting. And it's not just like, hey, I really want this number. It's, hey, I really want this, but I also don't want to make it too enticing for the other players at the table. So I like that element. I think that's a pretty cool piece of the game.
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of tension in the dice placement. Like you even push your luck, right? Like I'll put this here, and I'm gonna hope that he doesn't take that, because if he does, it could really help him. But oh man, I really need that. You know what? I'm going to put a little extra in there. So maybe I can get 3 this time. Yeah. But then that entices him to go for that even more. Sometimes, as you noticed in the gameplay, you're going to want to do that. Like, hey, you know what? If I throw one more, all I got to do is throw a couple 5s out there. And Oldini's like, he's sweating bullets because he can't help but want to travel as fast as he possibly can. He's like,
well, in this game where you get points for that.
Yeah, no. Yeah, for real. But yeah, so that's kind of cool. I like that part. And I do I have to admit, while he's making decisions, my heart is beating a little faster sometimes.
Yeah.
I'm like, I hope he doesn't take that. I really, that's one of my favorite parts of the game, actually.
Yeah. I also really like the thought process that goes in, like with where you're placing your different novices. Now, obviously you are going for those points because you can get a lot of points that way, but it's not the only place that you can get points, like unlocking this spot right here that just straight up gives you 3 points means that I might be doing a lot of travel to get this, but also if I do that, potentially every turn I could be taking 3 points, which is a lot, and can be more than what you're going to get out there potentially. And so I like that, and I like how you get points for that area control, because that's another element to think about. Like if you're able to kind of take a monastery on your own. By the way, this is a 2-player side of the board. The higher player counts on the other side. But if I'm able to put,
so you might think, wow, that's impossible if you have higher player counts, but there's
right
side of the board.
But if I'm able to really focus on this monastery, for example, if John's not able to get a lot out there, you could potentially get a lot of points. You're multiplying this times the amount of people in the cloister, doubling that. You can get a lot of points that way if somebody just lets you do it, Yeah. Now, this one is more expensive because you have to have books to get most of your people out there, but I like that. I like that you have that extra element of getting points that might be difficult to grasp that first game because there's already so much.
That's what I was going to say. I was going to say I feel like this game is fairly simplistic in the way it's played. Maybe not fairly, just solid medium weight Euro. Let's say that. But I feel like the more I play it, the more I do recognize the depth of strategy. Because, even the last time I played it, I forgot about some of that stuff. And I was like, are you kidding me, John? I was so hyper-focused on completing these tasks and doing these that I was like, oh, yeah, you multiply this times this. And I had that, but I think I forgot about whoever had just straight up had the most. Yeah. That actually got 5 points. And I was like, dang it. Which, it's right here. That's no fault of the game. It's just fault of stupid John. I would say one of my other favorite parts to the game would be just the way that you kind of have this kind of combo action unlock thing that happens. I wouldn't say it's popping off all the time, but you may have noticed, you may use one of your die to move here, which then unlocks, this, or like Dean did it, which unlocks that, one of the windows, which then you put it here, and now you unlock something else. Which that feels pretty cool and that feels pretty satisfying. It's nice to unlock these different things and have more options over the course of the game. I guess that part doesn't.
Is there a but?
It just doesn't. It's not as exciting as I thought it might be to me. I don't know why.
Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah, I know. I think it's fine. I thought this was going to be super cool, and I was like, okay, it's fine.
Yeah, it is an interesting engine, and I think those decisions are really interesting. Like as you unlock these, like you have to think. You have 5 different options to be able to unlock these, and depending, I mean, they all are great options in their own vein. You know, like for example, you might not necessarily take the 2, 3, and 4 spots as much. Like I feel like the 1, the 5, and the 6s tend to be the spots where you're like, oh yeah, that's where it's at. Especially like the 1 and 5, and maybe that's just a me personal thing.
Yeah, I feel the same way.
One's always become really valuable. However, like let's say I unlock this one right here. Now every time I take the influence marker, take that 3, then I also one time get to either, depending on how many dice are there, I can take 2 soup, 2 influence, or 2 rosary. That's
big time.
Huge. That's really nice. Or you can take an additional soup with that. And this one lets you move twice, which is I like that. I like that a lot. But
that second row is really powerful, but it costs you more.
It does, but I think in some ways it's worth it. Now, it didn't pay off for me because, like John said, I could have blocked him from those spots.
Yeah,
and that would have been nice. But I just kind of wanted this one more, I guess. But
I'll also say that I didn't mention that if you unlock an entire row, then you also get this monk that you do whatever you want to with, basically.
Right.
You just pop them wherever. So that might give you some incentive to complete some rows. So there's kind of like a little bit of that, a small piece of that Ganshan clever. You undo this and you unlock this and you unlock this. Or you do this and this. And if you do that, then you unlock this. I wouldn't say that's like popping off all the time, but it does happen.
It definitely does, especially like and I think like movement helps with that because then you're popping off these spots, which might trigger things. Like if I did this and then it triggers this, and I might get points, I might get to I will get to take another action, that sort of thing. You mentioned these extra guys that just come off. They do still have to follow the rules of placement on there, but you're right. But you do just get to throw them out there, which is
I can't just put
really
one
nice.
here whenever I don't have someone in the outside.
That's right. That's right.
Or whatever. Yeah.
But anyway, you ready for your final thoughts? I'm interested to hear yours.
Yeah. Okay. So let me preface it with some negatives, I guess, because we just talked about the positives that we like about it. But we can use this. This will be my final thoughts. If you skip to this, there's a lot of positive things about this game, and I'll mention those again. But I do want to mention that. I'll say this. I was really excited about this game, and Dean was as well.
Yeah.
There's a couple of things that I don't love. Number one is I feel like I'm kind of just doing the same thing over and over. Like I go to the end of this track, I come back. I go to the end of this, I come back. I drop off guys, I drop off guys, I drop off guys. Now, is it more exciting than that? Yes. Because you have this thing that you're unlocking and kind of building an engine with how you use your dice. You have this window thing where you're able to unlock things here. You're also having to drop off people based on, you don't have to, but you want to based on the way you're going to score points and doing it as fast as you possibly can because as the years progress, you get less and less points. And again, I'll just mention in the final thoughts, I love the tightness of the die and that I hope he doesn't take this, hope she doesn't take that. I like that part a whole lot. But I just felt like it was like some cool mechanics, some fun, but I'm not really overwhelmed by this game. I'm just like, okay, 7 out of 10.
Okay.
And that's kind of barely 7 out of 10 almost. I'm usually willing to play it, I think. There's a lot of other classic Euros style games that I would rather play than this.
Mm-hmm.
I could go 6.5 on this one. It's fine. I'm usually willing to play. Sure, Dean wants to play it, I'll play it. It's a fun game. I enjoy playing it.
If we sit here long enough, eventually John will talk himself either up or down.
I'll go 7. I'll go 7 because it's a solid game.
Yeah, it's a pretty fast game too. Once you know it,
great extra point,
and I like that piece of it. Like rounds can go very fast. You can play in about an hour, even less with 2 players if you both know the game really well. Now, this at its heart is a puzzle game. Like you are trying to figure out
puzzly,
this
which
puzzle,
I usually like a lot.
Yeah, you're trying to figure out resources to put out there, all that stuff. And I like that. I like it. I like the theme of this one. I really enjoy I like dice drafting. That's a mechanism that I really enjoy. I really enjoy the board, like both sides of the board, that you're getting these resources and points as you go, that you're unlocking things, and this changes from game to game. It's not like you're going to necessarily... Probably not. You probably won't take the same strategy the whole time because it's going to be influenced a lot by those victory point cards that come out. I didn't mention that, but we do have multiple, victory point cards that are going to come out. I like that you have the area control, that there's lots of different ways to get points. Now, I feel slightly the same way you do about it can feel kind of samey, but that didn't really sour it for me, I guess. But
it didn't help it.
No. It didn't.
Right?
Yeah.
Because I've got a feeling this isn't going to be like a 9 out of 10 for you or anything.
No, it's not. And I'm slightly bigger on this than you. I'm a 7.5 on this one, which is, compared to your 7 is really close. It's hard for me to pinpoint any negatives necessarily. It's just it just doesn't. It's not notched up to that elite status. There's nothing that really. I think it's the
sameness because you're going the same rows and then you have the chapel and the outside and inside on every single one. Yes, they're a little bit different on some of them, but it's you're kind of doing the same thing. But again, the core mechanics are fun. That's why it's not this is a 5 out of 10. I enjoy playing the game. Now,
here's one thing that you said, though, is at the beginning you were talking about the tension. I think that's the part that really does, wow me. I don't know if wow is not the right word.
No, it's really cool. I like that.
The tension from the dice that you get, I love that. I think that's fantastic. The tension that you get from filling up these spots and, the area control, all of that, I really enjoy. The tension that you get from when do I want to move my messenger up? If I do, I'm now not adjacent to this monastery, so I can't do anything there because I don't have a monk in a novice in the chapel.
A monk in the trunk.
All of those things I really, really enjoy. It's just not enough to bump it up to elite status, but 7.5 is a really great score. I really, really enjoyed this game, and I wasn't disappointed overall. It just wasn't a 10
you're trying to make up for something just a little bit there.
Oh, no. Because you mentioned this was a game that I had high on my list. Yeah. We did a top 10 games anticipated for the year or something.
One?
And it was number 2. Number 1 or number 2. This and Anno 1800.
This was number 4 for me. So it was really high.
So it was high for both of us. Yep. I had super high expectations. Did it meet those? Maybe, because I really enjoy the game. Not for you.
No.
Okay.
If I have that high of expectations, I'm hoping it's in the 8+ range.
Okay.
And this didn't. Anyways,
Anno 1800 was a little bit higher than that for me. So anyway, 7.5 for me, 7 from John. Tell people how they can get in touch with us.
If you're enjoying our channel, we'd love for you to subscribe to it. You can go to patreon.com/Meepletown if you'd like to support what we're doing. We're at Meepletown Games on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and we're Board Game Geek Guild 3407.
Thanks for coming down to Meepletown.
Thanks for joining us, and thanks to our Patreon supporters for making content like this possible. If you would like to become a Patreon supporter, go to patreon.com/Meepletown. To follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, find us at Meepletown Games. Finally, to connect with us and other residents of Meepletown, you can join Guild 3407 at BoardGameGeek.com. Until next time, thanks for coming down to Meepletown.